I hit the skins for the hell of it. Just for the yell I get. For the smell of it. Barbecuing? Nope. Started a little fire. Rained yesterday, so my kindling and wood is slightly wet, so I'm trying to start that up. I don't know if it's gonna do its thing or not. Oh, yeah. Check that bias at the door. Get your ass on the dance floor and check that bias at the door. What does your beanie mean? Why does everything gotta mean something? My beanie doesn't mean anything. It's just my beanie. What does your beanie mean? I suppose you can infer a message from my beanie. On the left, we have American imperialistic military power, and on the right, we have Soviet. What are we doing here? You know that thing. Something about the duality of man, that Jungian thing, sir. Oh, you'd better shape up and ship out, soldier. By the way, children are still being banned. This is an 18-plus stream, just to remind everybody of the rules that have been standing now for the last few fucking episodes that have actually made this a way better place to be. This is not a place for children to hang out, so if you type or conduct yourself like a child, be prepared to be banned. If you are under 18 and you conduct yourself as an adult, there's no way I'll know, but this is an 18-plus stream. So if you're going to PogChamp it up or Twitch it up, I suggest Tyler1 on Twitch. He streams probably fucking like 18 hours a day, and his chat is an unreadable fucking mess of Zoomers. Yeah, get your Lunchables and your fruit roll-ups and take your little sack lunch outside and eat it on the fucking park bench. This is not a congregation place for children. You get those old-timey racist-esque symbols, no PFP, no children. No. It's cool seeing you and Scotty on Stevie's stream. Real nice. Real happy for him to have such a good stream. Same here. Yeah, he had a great stream. It's a lot of fun playing with those guys. I like playing Vermintide 2 with them. I meant to go back after I ate dinner and play some Left 4 Dead 2 with Stevie, but my fucking internet went to shit because the wind was blowing and it was raining, so I had to bow out. Where's Stevie's Twitch? I mean, you can go look at my Twitter and stuff and you'll find it. I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it's Steve Zor the Grim, but I don't know how to spell it. So go, look up his Twitter and shit. You'll find it through mine. 18 plus is being generous. Most 18-year-olds are pretty much still babies. I know, but, You know, you gotta set a fucking line and enforce it, and that's the one I've chose. Hello, sweetheart. Need some coffee.
Did you get some?
Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, T. What are you doing, T? Cricket was wanting some pets this morning.
Oh, he woke you up?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't wake me up. Just when I got up, he was right there for some pets. He needed the pets immediately. First thing he was like, "Dad, you're not even gonna knock the crust out of your eyes. I need pets." I was like, "All right, buddy." It's the first thing I did today, and I think I'm gonna start making that the first thing I do every day. Wake up, find Cricket wherever he is, and force some pets on him because it put me in a good mood. I was like, oh,
I
okay.
didn't get to see him this morning yet.
He's off in your room, I think, is when I last saw him. Up on your chair. Holding down Mom's office. I don't even think he got enough pets for me, to be honest with you. Like, I gave him pets, and then when I was walking away, I turned back and looked at him, and he was giving me a look like, that was like half the pets. It's like, oh, man. Gotta love him. Gotta love him. Cat decides when you're done petting. Yeah. Oh, well, I know. Trust me, I'm aware. I'm aware that the cat gets to decide. What he doesn't decide, Dinor decides. Amelia and I just kind of go with the flow, whatever the animals decide that they're doing. That's our job, to facilitate.
You garden the wood, T?
El gato. Oh, nice asbestos fingers. I like that. Asbestos Fingers has put together a copy-paste thing for the chat that says, warning, this is an 18-plus chat. If you do not conduct yourself like an adult, you'll be banned. It's great. I love it. Yep. It's actually really good for newcomers. I'm glad he did that. Yeah, I mean, you know, every once in a while new people wander in, or people that don't watch these very often wander in and stuff, and it's a good thing. Asbestos Fingers is like I said, man, he's my techno priest. Well, Asbestos Fingers and Otello are my tech priests. Aren't we getting to the point where there are Zoomers that are 18? Or no?
Well, my sister just entered high school. She was born late 2000, so.
When does the Zoomer generation start? Like,
I think I'm on the cusp of it.
You're a cusper between millennial and Zoom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be willing to. I mean, if you're a cusper, you're 23. There are definitely Zoomers that are 18. 97, 2000, yeah. Yeah. The oldest are in their mid-20s. It's crazy. So yeah, I can't say like the no Zoomer zone or something, because there are plenty of Zoomers that are now old enough. Okay, so what's the generation coming up after the Zoomers then?
me generation, I think.
Generation me? Like what? Because like yeah, now that Zoomers are starting to hit their 20s and shit. After Zoomers is Alpha, is it? I mean, it's going all the way back.
Yeah, so they're saying Zoomers are 95 to 2015. So Alpha.
Got it. And then, oh, dude, the poor next generation after that, dude, the beta generation. Oh no. I mean, Alpha is kind of cool. Generation Alpha, yeah. I mean, that's kind of cool. But then Generation Beta is gonna follow Generation Alpha, dude. Oh man. The Sigma generation, yeah. Generation Ligma. The Zoomers. And now the next generation is the Groomers. Oh boy. Yeah, they're gonna have a rough time over in Generation Beta. Generation Beta dies of climate change. Fitting. Yeah. Probably. Probably true too. What are your takes on boomer whining about other gens?
That's what I think every generation has ever done.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the downside we were talking about, like how it's actually useful to track these generational things from a broad psychological, group psychological perspective, because generations do have different ideas about the role that they play in the system of government and how they interact with it, how they feel about it. It seems very trackable from generation to generation. One of the bad things about talking about generations is a lot of people treat it like a fucking horoscope, right? And so they think that they can look at a person and because they're from this generation extrapolate all of this shit about them, and that's just not true. People individually are different as usual, but the trends on the whole remain the same. And I don't know that it's necessarily just boomers. I think it's like, yeah, like Amelia was saying, every generation, looks down on the one that follows them and thinks that the one that follows them just doesn't get it. You know what I mean? It was very weird for me because, once again, as a cusper, I had one foot planted in both. And so I saw kids going in one way and I saw older adults going another way. And I was kind of straddling both of those generations and had to find a third way. That's why it's interesting to talk about, but not necessarily the end all be all. I mean, there are people, it's the old argument of like, does age equal wisdom or intelligence or whatever? And the answer is always no. There's Zoomers that could run circles around me intellectually, and there are boomers who I could absolutely fucking leave in a pile of dust on the ground intellectually. You know what I mean? It's like, analog childhood, digital adulthood. Yep. Isn't that weird? So true, though.
Did you get medicine?
Yeah. Yeah, I took my meds. I'm a Gen Z cusper, and I can definitely see the differences of the two mindsets. Of course you can. Wait till you continue to get older and those mindsets actually start to take root in the form of policy and shit. And you'll find yourself, like, confused as to what your role is because you don't agree with anybody. That's the burden of the cusper, I think, is that the cultural narrative was in flux at the time we were born. And so we got a version of the cultural narrative story that drives us all and binds us all together that was in the process of being edited. 20 years, do you think you will become more conservative? No. I actually think that, like, if I change at all, like, politically speaking, I will get even further to the left, if anything. If that's, at this point, the possibility. But no, I think if I was going to go through my little like doodaloo doodaloo doo, like, oh yeah, I'm a conservative now thing, I think it would have happened like in my 30s and shit. I would have started to be like, oh. It's not gonna happen, yo. To be fair, though, your age has helped you see the political cycles that younger people fall for. I mean, yeah, it's frustrating that people look at people like me and dismiss what I say when I say that the cyclical fucking transfer of radical leftist energy into center corporate policy, it does nothing but damage everybody and the world besides. And I've seen it happen and 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 happen. And so, like, it is frustrating sometimes to not be able to express that to people in a way that makes them like at least consider it. Everybody wants to believe that this time it's different, though. And that's another kind of problem, generational problem, is that because generationally things aren't getting better, they're getting worse. There's a lot of blame that goes backwards as well. I mean, you see that, right? So we were talking about, what do you think about boomers who, misunderstand other generations or go after other generations? What about the opposite? What about people that look back at old people and because they ruined the world and because on their watch shit got worse, I'm not going to listen to you. Why would I listen to you? I know what I'm doing. I've got a fresh face and I've got a fucking new pair of shoes on, and I'm going straight to the fucking source of the power. Telling me not to participate and tune out. No. I'm going to vote. I'm going to participate in this. And they do. And then it takes them another fucking 10, 15 years to get it. And I wish that there was a way to harness that energy when people are young, that really fiery, passionate, change-driven energy when people are young, that doesn't include sending them through the meat grinder of neoliberalism. And so that's what I try to do. That's what I try to put forward, that there is a third way for young people, and that it is every bit as change-making and important as voting, if not more. Saying I will not vote for a corporatist is just as important a stand as saying I voted for Joe Biden just for the bear harm reduction. In fact, I think it's a more important stand personally, but it's at least equal. Good morning, Phoebes. Some generations have to learn the hard way. I'm not sure how you would bypass that. Yeah, I don't even know if you can, but that's the problem. We're trapped in this kind of cyclical generational failure where young, vibrant, passionate people come along in a generation, and they look at the generation that came before them and the generation that came before that, and they go, you fucked us and you fucked the world and you left us with this mess, and we're passionate, we're gonna fix it. And all that passion gets distributed and diffused into the DNC, and nothing changes. And then all of a sudden they're raising the generation that comes up after them and looks back and goes, what the fuck did you guys do? You know what I mean? It's like this generational. But the problem is that there are always these agents of the status quo around, whether they're knowing agents of the status quo or unknowing agents of the status quo, to funnel that passion into the meat grinder that is neoliberal electoralism. And so, shroop, keeps happening generationally. They look back. Fuck you, you fucked the planet. We're going to fix it. AOC, and then AOC becomes the young Nancy Pelosi. And everybody gets fucking embittered. What do you think, ultimately, what do you think AOC's rolling over and becoming a lib is going to actually do? It's going to take all of that passion and all of that belief and all of that energy that young people put into her, and belief in their ability to elect somebody who's really going to go out there and fight for them. And it's going to make them into a cynic like me. They're going to go like, oh, no, I'm not falling for this AOC line again. So it's the little boy who cried wolf. And constantly taking young people who haven't figured out where they are yet politically, who don't know how to direct their energy, Taking groups of young people like that and funneling them into the fucking neoliberal machine is one of the fucking worst things you can do as a leftist, in my opinion. Because that's what killed my generation. My generation looked back at Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton and was like, we're not going to do that shit again. And so we did Barack Obama. And we did George Bush. And everything got fucked even worse. And now the new generation is doing Biden. What do you think the end result of pouring all that passion and belief that you're actually making a step towards something right and then watching it all fall apart? Like what does it do to that passion? Well, 50% already don't vote and the politicians don't care, so why would a few million more not voting make a difference? Because it means that the DNC wouldn't win anymore. That's why it would make a difference. It means that they would be functionally useless because nobody would show up to vote for them. And when they ask people why, or when people have the opportunity, as everybody does now in the social media sphere, to say why, to say, I'm a leftist and I didn't vote for Joe Biden because he's a rapist and a warmonger and a corporatist and a fucking segregationist. That has value. That actually sends a message to the DNC that you've had enough of the fucking square dance that your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents engaged in. And that you're no longer going to sign your name next to the name of your own oppressor. You're no longer going to sign your name and spend your time advocating for somebody who's going to rape the global South. You start actually being a leftist. It frees you to actually start thinking like a leftist so you don't have to tap dance around and make excuses for shit libs anymore. And it's fucking freeing. Trust me. It's a little bit fucking angry making and angst inducing, but it's also very liberating. It's very liberating to admit the problem and move past it and start actually trying to advocate for others to do the same. Voted one time, won't bother wasting my time from here on out. That's what you choose. That's what you choose. Oh, no, it's all good, dude. I was... Sorry, Bernard. God damn. The weed. It's dank. Oh, it's so good. No, I was up late last night and I popped on. Dude, I took your Pyromancer is weak sauce as a challenge and I started a Pyromancer and got it to like level 10 last night or something. I'm doing a Pyromancer. But anyway, yeah, no, I thought you were on it. You just left it running. I've done the same thing. I could see that you were online or whatever in the game, so I sent you an invite. And I was like, well, if Pranab's awake, he'll hit me up. And if he's not, he won't. Do you know of the former YouTuber Mr. Mediker? Yes. I remember Mr. Mediker, yeah. He was like... Well, I wasn't he the same guy as Internet Aristocrat? Or am I getting two people mixed up? Was Mr. Mediker also Internet Aristocrat? Or am I getting him mixed up with a similar personality? But yeah, I remember Mediker becoming popular, like real popular during Gamergate and things. And yeah, I remember him being kind of like a staple in the blood sports community back in the day when that thing. I mean, I don't think he was the creator of internet blood sports, but he was definitely a participator and a frequent guest on these kind of like alt-right blood sport streams and shit. But yeah. Watched Nikocado Avocado for the first time the other day. Couldn't get through 30 seconds. I don't blame you. I never told you to go watch Nikocado Avocado. And if I did, it came with a big warning. The DNC and the GOP want the same things to remain the only two games in town. They keep us arguing over social issues while they run away with all the tax dollar. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's one way to put it. Oh Lord, the internet blood sports. Those were insane and not in a good way. Yeah, I mean, it was just a weird little community. He was one of those guys that exposed Matt Jarbo. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember where Matt Jarbo got exposed. He got exposed on one of those. I think it was Ethan Ralph's kill stream where Jarbo got exposed. Well, I mean, yeah, he did. You're right. Matt exposed himself. Well, that's because the blood sports community was made up of people with pretty much like tiny little brains. And so like, you know, like with somebody that with an actual, and I'm not even claiming to be some kind of genius, but with somebody with an actual brain in their head actually dipped their toes into the blood sport shit, it was ridiculous. Joe Biden signed the crime bill that put tons in prison for 3 small crimes. Right. Joe Biden was the author of the big giant crime bill in the 1980s that led to, further mass incarceration of minorities in this country. He's an authoritarian. He's a warmonger. He's a racist, a probable rapist. I would literally throw up in my own mouth signing my name next to that. Hey, brother, in some news, the EU announced that Americans will be allowed to visit this summer as long as they are vaccinated. I'm going to send a bottle of red wine to the bunker when I get back. Dope, dude. I'm going to take a little European excursion. Nice. I don't know when if ever, I'll make it over there. I just don't know. But that's kind of cool. It's good to know that like some travel options are starting to open up. Oh, yeah, Bernie was look, I love Bernie's policy. Not all of it, but some of it. I loved that he was a firebrand type of politician in terms of policy. But look at what Bernie did functionally. He funneled tons and tons and tons of young, vibrant leftist support to Joe Biden. Directly, monetarily, supported the regime. So in the end, Bernie became a useful tool to funnel leftist passion into the status quo. And look what we got. Joe Biden. Yeah, where'd the Bernie that was foaming with fucking rage about endless wars a decade ago go? Or 15 years ago? I don't know. You'd have to ask Bernie. Maybe he's too old to be passionate anymore. I don't know. Maybe he listened too much to the DNC about modulating his rhetoric. Maybe he never intended to win at all. I don't know. Maybe the intent was always to give this kind of grassroots leftism an outlet and then right at the fucking 11th hour throw his arm around the establishment. I don't know. I don't think that's the way it went down, but will I preclude that that's the truth? No. Not everyone who believes in harm reduction is a fake leftist. Chomsky is just a DNC shill, guys. I love this, dude. Do you want to know what the funny thing about Noam Chomsky is? This is something that I noticed a lot, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Noam Chomsky. But here's the funny thing about Noam Chomsky. Fake centrist leftists love to trot Noam Chomsky out on the issue of whether or not you should vote, but are completely silent about everything else that Noam Chomsky stands for and espouses in his fucking philosophy. Isn't that interesting? The only time you see shit libs quoting Noam Chomsky, it's on whether or not you should funnel yourself into the fucking lesser of two evils machine. Nothing to say about his message about imperialism. Nothing to say about his anti-militarist and anti-expansionist rhetoric, his anti-fucking imperialist rhetoric. None of it. Never see a shit lib quoting Chomsky on anything other than whether or not you should vote for the shit lib. Isn't that interesting? Why is that? Why is it that libs only care that Chomsky is a well-respected leftist thinker when it's time to try and convince other libs to vote for the lib? And then it's, never hear anybody quoting Chomsky on his anti-war position. They're only Chomskyites when it comes to funneling your vote to a rapist, imperialist warmonger. Then they quote Chomsky all day. Never hear him quoting Chomsky about anti-war. Never hear him quoting Chomsky about his imperialistic messaging, anti-imperialistic messaging, his anti-corporate stance. No. Notice this really starkly during the last electoral cycle. I kept seeing Noam Chomsky come up. Oh yeah? Paul, you're smarter than Noam Chomsky? Noam Chomsky disagrees. Noam Chomsky, Noam Chomsky, Noam Chomsky. And it was all 100% clips of Noam Chomsky talking about how you should vote for the lesser of two evils. Nothing else about his philosophy was ever presented, and I've never heard those people or seen those people quote him on any other topic to me. So I leave it to you, dude in chat that brought up Noam Chomsky. What else about Noam Chomsky's fucking philosophy do you think is smart? I'll wait, because I want to hear how you plan on getting to that. I'm not even dissing on Chomsky. I agree with you. He's not a DNC shill. I'm not accusing him of being. He has his own fucking opinion on shit. I'm asking the person that quoted, I didn't even quote Noam Chomsky, just threw his name out there like it was a ponage, to give me another Noam Chomsky position that he's willing to die on the hill for. And I'll wait for it too. I'm not casting any aspersions at Noam Chomsky. I'm not a huge fan of his philosophy, but I want to hear from this dude who seems to care a lot about what Noam Chomsky thinks on something other than electoralism. Do you agree with most of his other points on stuff? Like I said, dude, I can hardly sit through a fucking Noam Chomsky lecture. And I'm old, so I've seen 2 or 3. And to be able to say I know the entirety of Noam Chomsky's philosophy would be me sitting here and lying to you. So I don't know. I've heard him take anti-war positions that I very strongly agree with. I've heard him take very anti-imperialistic and anti-capitalist positions that I strongly agree with. But I don't know his thoughts on every political and geopolitical problem. I really don't. I'm not the one that brought him up. So I was just talking about Chomsky to ask the very strange question about why leftists only quote him when it's time to funnel votes to the shit lib. Gnome Kachomp. I'll be right back. Hello, dude. I'll be right back, dude. I told you I was coming out back. I wasn't lying when I said I was coming. Gnome Monkey. Well, that's where Noam Chomsky falls off the cliff, but becomes useful to people who funnel leftist energy to shit libs. Because Noam Chomsky is a well-respected leftist thinker who has shitty takes sometimes, specifically like the one that was just mentioned in the chat, when he compared people that wanted to force the vote on Medicare for all to people who are crying about not getting their candy in the middle of a pandemic. Noam Chomsky's very useful. Why do you see shit libs and people that funnel leftist energy to the center-right corporatist liberal wing of the fucking Democratic Party quoting Chomsky on that? That's their backup. They fall back on that stupid, shitty mischaracterization of an issue, and they think that they're doing a good thing. And you think that they have your best intentions at heart when they quote that type of shit at you and signal boost that type of shit? It's time to fucking it's time to get real and stop LARPing. It's time to get real and stop pretending. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to fucking send that fucking message to the young generation whose votes are going to matter in 20 fucking years. I don't know how to start that process. It's time. Wanting M4A is like wanting candy. Yes. Yes. Have you ever listened or read anything by Michael Parenti? He's great for anti-imperialism. His name sounds familiar, but I can't place anything that I've read by him. Ironically, I'm optimistic about the streak of pessimism and cynicism I see heavily in my generation, Gen Z. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what it turns into. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of fucking pessimism and cynicism in Gen X and the early millennial generation, too. It was kind of built on a bedrock of pessimism and cynicism, and it got funneled right into the fucking DNC maw. Most people that came from my generation and thereabouts if they were if they are political people at all, were funneled into some part of the DNC or RNC political machine. Good little taxpayers, good little picket fence owners, good little party line voters. If you don't mind, could you explain your point of view on imperialism? My point of view on it. Okay. Imperialism is the exploitation, rape, and theft of natural resources of the global South at the literal point of a gun. Imperialism means that if America needs a geopolitical position, then it manufactures a reason to send a giant military operation to that place, manufactures consent amongst its populace due to the collaborators that make up the mainstream news media in this country, and they go take it. So that to me is imperialism. And if you want to talk imperialism, America is the biggest, baddest, oligarchical, imperialist society on the planet. We do the most damage. We extract more wealth from under the feet of indigenous people in the global South than any other imperialist nation. The media doesn't necessarily manufacture consent. It just is one stop along the factory, a very important stop. Manufacturing consent is something that you should look up and understand. It's a multi-pronged psychological process to manufacture consent of a society. And it involves a lot of the stuff that we talk about in here. The overarching cultural narrative that you were born into. This idea that you're the good guys and the bad guy is whoever your government points at. This is all about imperialism. This is all about the same idea, the accumulation of power, the robbing of natural resources from under the feet and around the fucking houses of people in other parts of the world, the exportation of misery from your country to others. Iraq 2003 was an overt imperialist move, as was Afghanistan. You know how mineral rich Afghanistan is? You think it's just an accident that we whoopsie-daisied and didn't quite get bin Laden in Afghanistan? That shit was manufactured. Mineral rich. Absolutely ripe for exploitation, and now we're going to do it. Afghanistan was such a lush place as well. Beautiful ecology, yeah. For the US, the Soviets also tried to, well, that's because Afghanistan is a geopolitical position, right? Russia wanted Afghanistan so that they could have a wider reach around the borders of their actual country, so they wanted influence in Afghanistan. America wanted Afghanistan so that they would have close military bases and military contacts to the USSR. And so it became a chess piece. These are called proxy wars. We armed the Mujahideen. I think it's Mujahideen. We armed the Mujahideen to fight against the Soviets, not because we gave a fuck about the plight of the people there, but because we wanted the Soviets to be dealt a blow. We wanted them to dedicate tons and tons of money and military personnel and materiel to a fight that they weren't equipped to win, because we were secretly supplying the freedom fighters in Afghanistan. And this is the same shit. Look at how Libya went down, right? You had fucking Russia backing the regime, the Gaddafi regime. You had America backing the freedom fighters, and we fought a nice little proxy war there. And then eventually, when the tipping point came, we intervened and we won over there. We made a little geopolitical chess move and pawn took knight. And that's all it was about. Because while we ramped up and the media remember what the media played a role in this? Gaddafi, killer, Gaddafi, horrible person. And I'm not saying he wasn't. But while they were doing that, they knew full well that their companies were being funded by money from, and their government was being funded by relations with some of the most totalitarian, despotic, shitty, human rights abusing regimes in the fucking world. So it had nothing to do with Gaddafi. It had nothing to do with what Gaddafi did to his fucking people, any more than the invasion of Iraq during Operation Desert Storm had anything to do with stopping Saddam Hussein. And just like the invasion of Iraq in Operation fucking Iraqi Freedom had nothing to do with wanting to stop a horrible person who was bad to his people. We love doing business with that type of shit. You know, there are pictures of Donald Rumsfeld, one of the chief architects of Operation Iraqi Freedom, smiling and grinning and shaking hands with fucking Saddam Hussein just 10 years before he would be screaming at everybody about how we needed to bomb him. He knew full well what was going on then. This is what I'm talking about. This is how the will of the people gets funneled into imperialism and war. Funny thing is, when Saddam was at his worst in terms of human rights violations, that's when we were most chummy with him. Of course. Dude, we maintained super close diplomatic ties and alliance ties to Saudi Arabia. One of the most miserable, totalitarian religious dictatorships in the fucking world. They literally still lop people's heads off for blasphemy in the fucking town square. They murder fucking journalists from our country that are following up on stories about them, and we do nothing about it. You know why? O-I-L. Most of the people that were on the planes that flew in to the fucking trade centers and participated in the hijackings were Saudi citizens, not Afghani. Oops. Osama bin Laden is not an Afghani Taliban warlord. He's the son of a fucking rich Saudi. Oops. Uh-oh. A rich Saudi that, by the way, has business ties to the Bush family. The bin Laden family and the Bush family have business ties in oil deals going back to pre-9/11 days. Something's starting to stink here. You didn't know that? Educate thyself. Start looking into the connections between these kind of dynastic presidencies, like Biden's, for example. Like, start looking into the connections that Biden has to world leaders. You'll be shocked. Because of finding out that the Bush family has direct ties to the rich-ass fucking Saudi bin Laden family. is shocking to you, you got a lot of shocks ahead of you. Follow the money. Look who donates to who. Now liberals are cuddling up to Bush. Of course they are. And Trump will be next. Well, I don't know if Trump will be next, because I got to tell you guys this. I don't know if you've seen a picture of Trump from like the last couple weeks or whatever. Trump's lost like 30, 40 pounds and looks like he's gearing up to run. So unless you guys get lucky or whatever and he strokes out or has a fucking big heart attack or some shit between now and 2024, it's going to be Trump v. whatever's left of the Biden administration. Probably Kamala Harris. So he's not quite ready to be moved to the cute old conservative grandpa status that we've given to George W. yet. So, like I said, unless he fucking strokes out or dies between here and there, dude is running again. If dude runs again, he's going to be top of the ticket. If he's top of the ticket, he's probably going to beat Kamala Harris. You know why I think he's going to beat Kamala Harris? Because she didn't win a single primary. She didn't primary in a single state. She dropped out before the major process started. Not a single person fucking cast a vote for Kamala Harris. Yeah. She's trash. Why did Biden pick her, you think? Because he needed a black female cover because he was accused of being a rapist and a segregationist, rightfully so. And so having a black female cover that was willing to throw her arm around him and legitimize him helped legitimize him enough to get him over the hump with shit libs. Naughty Priest, how are you, sir? Thank you very much, as always, for your support. I hope your day is going good. She became his lapdog right after she went in hard at the debate. There was no going in hard. That just shows you that that's all a pageant. Her position on Joe Biden changed as soon as he called her and offered her power. That's the type of person that Kamala Harris is, and those aren't the type of people that win elections. Oh, damn. Viewer count is at 187 for a second. Trying to catch me up in that 211. Fuck around and get caught up in the 187. Isn't 211 a robbery? I don't know police codes. I remember that lyric, but I never knew what a 211 is. I know what 187 is. 187 is a murder. I think a 211 is like a robbery, an armed robbery. Trying to catch me up in that 211. Fuck around and get caught up in a 187. Let me pause this real quick. The only thing the Democrats have is that they're better on social policies, but this is only because it's what their constituency wants and it doesn't challenge corporate power. You want to look, made just speak what just spoke. Hey, yo, Dre, break these brothers off, low. If it ain't another hoe that I gots to fuck with, gap teeth in your mouth so my dick gots to fit. With my sack on your tonsils. While you're backstage rapping at your whack ass concert. And I'ma snatch that ass from the backside, show you how death row pull off that hoot ride. Buster, thought I was sleazy. I thought I was a mark, cause I used to hang with Easy. Man, work is getting boring. Please come back. Sorry, got a phone call. You guys know how this works. People always freak out. If Paul disappears without saying anything, 99% of the time he's coming back. I got a text, I got a phone call I had to answer. It's the way this shit works. All right, stop. Now, before you walk in the door of that liquor store and try and get money out the drawer, you better think of the consequence. Who are you? I'm your motherfucking conscience. That's nonsense. Go in, get for the money, and run to one of your aunt's cribs. Borrow a damn dress and one of her blonde wigs. Tell her you need a place to stay. You'll be safe for days if you shave your legs with Renee's razor blades. Guilty Conscience. That's a great fucking song, dude. That's a great Eminem song. It's like Dr. Dre playing the angel on your shoulder and Slim Shady playing the devil. All right, calm down, Grady. Start breathing. Fuck that. You just caught this bitch cheating. She laid up in your bed while you were at work trying to get off. Fuck, slit in the throat. Cut this bitch's head off. Old Eminem. Very edgy shit, too. I love that Eminem so deftly dodged cancel culture. Like, they tried for like 10 seconds to cancel Eminem, and the general populace was like, nah, nope, we're not canceling Eminem. Didn't he do a Columbine lyric that got him in trouble that he brought back? I can't remember. My mom's name is Kim, so she was terrified to let me listen to Eminem. Kim is not Eminem's mom. Well, I guess it's his ex. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. So long, bitch, you did me so wrong. I don't wanna go on living in this world without you. That Kim track was insane. It was fucking like, I'd never heard anything like it. Because here's the thing. At that point in rap, right, all of this violence, not only violence against women, like, grab that bitch by her hair, smack a hoe. That type of shit was so normalized in the culture and in the music at that time. And so it was and like like acts of violence, not just against women, but against everybody, like fucking drive-bys, and I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna murk you, I'm gonna fuck you up the ass, cut your throat. That type of shit was so normalized in rap culture. And then Eminem came along and did a song about his ex, where it's basically a murder fantasy. He talks about how he's gonna fucking kill her, and it's like not even like talking about it. He's rapping along while it's happening, and he's got a woman on the track screaming muffled screams for help and shit as he tapes her up in the trunk and shit. Like, it's fucking like he took the line, which was already like way over the top in terms of violence, both against women and anybody else, and just went like did this fucking like murder fantasy song and named it Kim, which is his ex's name. I may have gotten a visit by the police nowadays, but I guarantee you a song like that's not even hitting an album these days. The fact that that was put on an album and published is fucking insane. And I love the song. The song is great. Like, it's just like he didn't go kill his fucking ex-wife. You know what I mean? But it was like the raw emotion of him working through how she fucked him over and turning it into a piece of art that's also a violent murder fantasy. You know what I mean? How do you fucking deny the impact of that? Even if it's not the type of impact you want a song to make. You know what I mean? He came along and he took the rules and he flipped them all on their head. Because there was an established line in rap and hip hop at that time where it was fine to talk about butt fucking somebody or raping or murdering or slapping a bitch around or shooting somebody in the street or whatever the fuck. But this like actually personalizing it shit was reserved for very unique occasions. Eminem wasn't the first to do it, but if you were called out directly in a beef and then threatened, that was a fucking big deal. It's like No Vaseline by Ice Cube, or what was the big one Tupac did against Biggie? First off, fuck your bitch and the click you claim. What's that one called again? Hit 'em up. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia, some mark ass bitches. Yeah, there's actually a fucking hot Eazy-E diss track that I can actually do, but I'd have to replace a lot of N-words with neighbors. But it, like, that shit was fucking hot. It's called Real Motherfucking G's. It was released in the earlier part of the 90s when Dre and Eazy had a very public falling out, pretty much over money from NWA. And that led them to do this kind of back and forth. So Dr. Dre, on his seminal hip-hop album and fucking game-changing hip-hop album, The Chronic, there was a cut on that called, what the fuck is that one called? I was rapping it earlier. Animosity made you speak what you spoke. What's that fucking song called? Hey, yo, Dre, what up? What is that song called off of the fucking Chronic? Somebody hit me with it. It's gonna drive me nuts. Bump, 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 bana, yeah, donna, hell yeah, da dun dun, bump, bump, bana, bana, do 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 do. Mr. Buster, Where the fuck you at? Can't strap pull it. Cause I know you got your dick on hard. For fucking the wrong dogs, the hoods you grew up with, neighbors you grew up with. Don't even respect your ass. So now it's time for the doctor to check your ass, fool. Used to be my homie, used to be my ace. Now I wanna slap the taste out your mouth, make you bow down to the row. Fucking me, now I'm fucking you, little hoe. Oh, you think I forgot? Let you slide, let me ride. You're just another homicide. So Dre dropped that with Snoop on it, and then Eazy-E made a diss track called Real Motherfucking G's. That was pretty much an even sicker burn, in my opinion. Eazy-E came back hard. Hey, yo, doctor, here's another proper track, and it's fat. Watch the sniper. Time to pay the piper. And let that real shit provoke. See, you's a wannabe loke, and you get smoked. And I hope that the fans understand when you talk about playing me. The same records that you're making are paying me. Motherfuck Dre, motherfuck Snoop, motherfuck Death Row. Yo, and here comes my left blow. Cause I'm the EAZYE, and this is the season to let them real motherfucking G's in. You bunch of kids, your father coming, now you're dapper. And tell me who the fuck could hide an anorexic rapper. Talking about who you gonna squabble with and who you shooting. You're only 60 pounds when you're wet and wearing boots. Damn, E. They tried to fade you on Dre Day. But Dre Day only makes Easy's payday. All of these suckers, women. All of the sudden, Dr. Dre is the G thing, but on his old album cover, he was the she thing. It's just a diss track. You need to check out Cage's Agent Orange. It's an underground hip-hop classic that samples A Clockwork Orange. All right, I'm not going to remember that. Hit me up on Twitter with it. One of my favorite songs by Dr. Dre is Keep Their Heads Ringing. Ring Ding Dong, huh? To me, that's like late Dre as an artist. It's not anywhere near his best shit. Keep Their Heads Ringing it's all right, but keep the heads ringing. Ring, ding, dong. Oh, Day. What you doing?
He doesn't seem to want the ball.
You don't want your ball. You don't want to play bow wow wow. That's okay.
He just wants attention.
He just wants you some attention, some love, and some pets. Okay, I can do that. He was a she thing. That line always bothered me, though. I mean, culture. You got to understand the culture. Very culturally different. It wasn't necessarily anti-trans. It was talking about how Dr. Dre went from a dude that was dressed up like a 70s fucking disco star in eye makeup and silver sequin bodysuit, and then all of a sudden he's wearing khakis and sagging with fucking lokes on, and you know what I mean? The whole point of the song was that Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg were studio gangsters. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean I won't deny that there was a lot of problematic anti-trans kind of shit, but I really don't think that one's a good example of it. He was pointing out the cognitive dissonance of presenting yourself as a dude in a fucking sequined bodysuit wearing makeup, and then all of a sudden you're wearing fucking lokes and saggy khakis and Doc Martens and LA Raiders beanies and shit, you know what I mean? Seems like a very calculated maneuver, and that was the point of the song. Paul, what are your thoughts on Vanilla Ice? I know you trashed him on DFF, but I remember you saying he made good stuff on stream a while ago. I mean, yeah, his first album is actually really good. If you listen to the other songs that aren't Ice Ice Baby, there's a song called Stop That Train, Play That Funky Music. I mean, he did a lot of sampling and stuff, but oh shit, dude, there's a baby frog. Look at him.
Where?
I'm gonna go get him. You see him over there?
Oh my goodness, he's itty bitty.
Hey, he's tiny. Either that or he's a cricket.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Are you a cricket or are you a toad? Oh my goodness, you're a little tree frog. Can I get you?
I'm gonna show him real quick.
Can I get you? I won't hurt you. I won't hurt you. He's all balled up.
Oh.
He thinks he's being attacked, but look at this little guy. Little bitty itty guy. I'm gonna put you somewhere where there's like some water, buddy. There's a little puddle. That feels real nice. You are slipping down deeper and deeper into the nothing. Where once there was a you, there is now only a mist, a vapor, a stratified collection of what once was you. As you sink deeper and deeper, you notice that what was you has now become the darkness. Keep their heads ringing, ring, ding, dong. Paul, do you think the continuum of sentience is fabricated and the old you has already died 100 times? I just think it's something that we understand about sentience, because sentience is not just one thing with different outcomes. It's one thing that expresses itself differently in almost every animal that it appears in. It's like that's what scientists have a hard time explaining. Nature, nurture, the development of a personality. We can make some extrapolations about why people turn out the way that they turn out. We can study that. But at the end of the day, what that person's consciousness is like is only something that we can study from afar. We can't jump in and see it. All we can do is interview them about it, make extrapolations about it, compare it to other cases. But when it comes to the actual nature of consciousness, only you know what it's like. Only you. And that means everybody, because it's different for everybody. The developments of neuroscience lead us to abandoning societal staples around free will. I don't know. I mean, free will has already been abandoned by most serious thinkers and scientists as a concept that has any chance. Most scientists are determinists because that's what the universe shows us. So The idea of free will doesn't really hold much power other than in political and mostly religious circles. It's a useful tool for people that don't understand that it can't exist to express jingoistic patriotism and blind religious faith. But if you do any thinking about it at all, you come to the conclusion that it just absolutely can't exist. Not in the realistic framework that we understand we live in. Well, of course you are. See, this is the problem with the idea of free will. It's a very attractive concept that you are the captain and master of your destiny. That you can at any moment in your life go, you know what? I want to utterly and completely change what kind of person I am and where I live and blah, 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 blah. And you think that that constitutes free will. You don't understand that your ability to do those things, your proclivity to want to do those things, all of those things are informed by outside sources that are completely out of your control. If you're born into a rich family, you've probably got a little fucking trust fund so that you can go live wherever you want. You're born into a poor family and your aspirations are, hey, I want to get the fuck out of here. Good luck. Right? What choice did you have in that? I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul, but the seas and the ship are not yours to master. Right. That's the whole point. It's like it's a very attractive concept to think that you're the master and captain of your own fate and your own soul. And that you're somehow piloting this bag of meat and consciousness through life in a way that is utterly unique and decided by you. And it isn't. It can't be. People go like, oh yeah, well, explain to me this then. I had a choice to do A or B. And I chose to do A, but I could have done B and my life would be different because of it. And I said, yes, but that binary choice that you had was informed by things that were outside of your fucking control. So yes, you have limited amounts of seeming choice within a deterministic universe, but those choices are limited by your circumstance. And your circumstance is limited by your upbringing and what country you were born in and what kind of poverty or wealth you were born into. And you have no control over that. It's also determined about, what kind of neurotypical or atypical makeup you have. You have no control over that. Nobody chooses to be a manic depressive. Nobody chooses to be a schizophrenic. Nobody chooses to be autistic. You're never given that choice. But yet you have free will. Your choices are limited by circumstances outside of your control. That's the point. Like, think about this. If you believe in free will, then you must believe that you as a person would have desired and pursued the same thing no matter where you were born on this planet. So you happen to be born in Gary, Indiana, and it's your dream to be a rock star. And if you just happened to be born in Mumbai, India, you just want to be a rock star. That's what you believe if you believe in free will. You're ignoring all of the selective and cultural pressures that are different in those two completely separate cultures with completely different sets of values. You're ignoring the propensity for the mass propensity for crushing poverty in one over the just kind of normalized crushing poverty in another. So you're rolling those dice and probably going to land in a poor person's household. You have no control over whether your parents are together when you're born, whether one of your parents is a drug addict or an alcoholic, whether one of your parents is abusive, physically, mentally, sexually to you. None of this is something that you go down the list and choose. But all of these things make up who you are as an adult. They fundamentally shape you. I am a different person than I would be had I not grown up in an alcoholic household. I had no choice in that. It's not like I went down the list before I was born and was like, yes, alcoholism, blah, 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 blah. So I have free will how? To truly live up to that Invictus poem, I'm the master of my destiny, I'm the commander of my soul. You would have to have the ability to select your circumstance. Crescent Slice, I'm about to ban you, bro. I don't know if it's been posted a while, but you're posting like a little kid right now. You've been trying to talk about a subject that we moved on from like 20 minutes ago, and I'm going to warn you once, and then that's going to be it, bro. I don't know if you're aware, but there's a new conduct yourself like a fucking adult rule that's in very, very strict effect. And I want you to go back and read your last few comments and ask if you're conducting yourself like a fucking adult. What do you say to people like TJ who think even if free will is an illusion, it doesn't matter in their daily lives, so it's not worth thinking about? To me, it's one of the most important things. Oh, I don't know. I mean, that shows you the difference in philosophy and consciousness, and shows you it's a refutation of the idea of free will on the face of it. So, TJ's position is correct. You know what I mean? Your position is correct. You've made a different choice. You find it to be insanely important to distinguish between reality and unreality when it comes to something as fuzzy and intangible as free will and determinism. TJ doesn't see that as an important question to sit and mull over a lot. He doesn't, and he's right that whether it's you live in a universe that has free will or determinism, it doesn't really matter anyway. It's the same. It's kind of the same thing that even hardcore adherents to simulation theory will tell you about that theory. It's not dogmatic. It's just like, look, whether this theory is right or wrong doesn't matter. If you're living in some kind of hyper-advanced simulation, you can't escape the boundaries of that, and you'll probably never know one way or the other for an absolute truth whether you're living in that simulation. So how you conduct yourself within that simulation or non-simulation, nothing changes, right? If you're living in the real world right now, and you're not some sort of hyper-advanced simulation, then you live your day-to-day life in the same way that you would live it under that same hyper-advanced simulation, and there's no way to functionally tell the difference. So there's no reason to sit and fucking like wring your hands and fucking, rack your brain about it. It's important to me because it plays into my philosophy a lot. My philosophy professor once asked about free will not existing. He immediately asked, well, do our actions not matter if we do bad deeds? How would you respond to that? Well, this is the whole like moral relativist argument. And I would respond that your philosophy professor was wrong to invoke something that you never said and to argue against a straw man. You argued against free will existing, and then he made a straw man of your statement and argued against it. And if he's a philosophy professor, he ought to know that that's what he did. He didn't answer your question, he attacked it. He attacked a position that you didn't take. Like, you didn't raise your hand in the class and say, murder doesn't matter. You raised your hand in the class and say, hey, I don't believe in free will. I think we live in a deterministic universe. And he said, oh, so murder doesn't matter? He like put you on the spot. Like you have to make some kind of moral judgment or you have to answer for the relativistic nature of morality, like more than he does. You know what I mean? It's typical fucking straw man argument. Right. It's the slippery slope fallacy and all these other fucking fallacies that are wrapped up in people that won't directly engage in argument. Like, if you had a good philosophy professor, he wouldn't have committed like 3 fallacies in his response to you. Hey, what's it? 18 plus. Yikes is not anything I can do anything with. I don't need to hear your reactions. If you got something to say about it, I'd like to hear it, but this is not a reaction chat. You can laugh along with me, you can laugh along with us and shit. But this like yikes posting and one word lol posting in the middle of a fucking talk, that type of shit, get you nuked around here. The absence of free will and morality are not mutually exclusive. That's true. I think people get scared of the idea of will due to egotistical reasons. Same with morality. These are positions which are assumed but not questioned by the individual until pressed on it. Well, typically when you press an individual that buys into the idea of objective morality or an objective universe, they will attack you before they will attack your argument. This is what I have found over and over and over again in the quite a few conversations that I've had in my life with objectivists. They will be the first to descend to attacking you personally or strawmanning your position. Probably because of what you just mentioned. It's ego driven. They have to believe that they are the pilots of their souls. Zeffler, man, that's a stupid fucking question. I'm going to go ahead and time you out. Conduct yourself like an adult and keep it on topic. I think we need to think about some morality as objective for the good of the community. I think that needs some extrapolation, and I don't agree based on what you've presented in your one sentence. I don't think that there's any need to look at morality as anything but what it is, which is subjective. And the proof that morality is subjective is evident in all of the ancient cultures and all of the information that we can glean about them. Had you been born in 1472, your morality would be a much different thing than it is being born in 1998 or 2000 or whatever, whenever you were born, right? Which proves that morality is not objective. It is subjective, right? I think societal norms and moral standards are desirable but not objective and shouldn't be exempt from criticism, right? Well, there's a difference between societal norms and moral objectivity, right? Societal norms are important. The idea that if you're going to stack people on top of one another and put us all on a big grid where we live cheek by jowl, there are certain rules that we all abide by to keep the peace between us. We don't steal from one another. We don't kill one another. And these are commonalities that you can find in many cultures today, and they make total fucking sense from a cultural perspective. What kind of a world would you live in if you could just walk in and kill your neighbor? You know what I mean? And there's no repercussions from that, right? That doesn't mean that morality is objective, because all you have to do is look at how murder was looked at differently in different cultures. So let's take a look, let's keep it in America and let's look at the Old West. If you were sitting at a poker table in a saloon in the Old West in America, it was straight up legal for you to draw down on somebody who called you a cheat at cards. So if you stood up and somebody said, you're a cheat, and you stood up and put your hand on your gun and that person drew on you, you could kill them right there in the bar and drag them out. And everybody would vouch for you around you saying, well, yeah, he bucked the fucking shit and called him a cheat. Drew down on him. That incident would be taken completely differently today. Somebody drawing down and shooting somebody in the head over a game of cards would never be allowed under today's system of morality. But we're only talking about 100 years of difference. Less. To where that was the societal norm. So no, it's all good. I get you, dog lady. I understand. Are there any universal transcendent virtues? If there are, I've never heard one. The closest that I've heard to a transcendent and universal virtue is do unto others as you would have others do unto you. The old golden rule. That's the closest that I've heard to a transcendent virtue. And it is one that is not abided by any fucking country on this planet. Or really in any community. So it's a very simple virtue that if most of the people on this planet adopted, I think the world would be a better place. But that's the closest, but I don't even think that's a universal good or a universal truth, but it's the closest I can think of. Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, Hunter Harris. Imagine if something like the Borg shows up and insists that they have the only objective morality. Well, that's the thing, is like the subjectivity of morality is proven by the idea that there are probably multiple sentient species existent in the known universe, and that they have probably in a completely different moral framework than we do, because they probably evolved under completely different selective pressures. And so if those two cultures were to clash, which I think is fantasy, but let's say that they did, those two cultures met one another, who's right? The plufarbs or the hairless apes? Well, I guess that depends on your perspective, doesn't it? If you're a plufarb, you probably think that the plufarbs are right. If you're a hairless ape, you probably think the hairless apes are right. And the fact that there's even any contention disproves the idea of objective morality. Look at the different times that cultures have clashed in history. Through war and through mass migration, cultures have clashed and morality has smashed into morality. How does that happen if there's an objective morality? I hate to bring it up because it's a meme, but like, look at the way that the ancient Greek culture, which is lauded as one of the most advanced ancient cultures in history, a culture that pushed us forward light years in terms of art, science, right? But in Greek culture, it was absolutely normalized for children, usually little boys, to engage in sexual activity with men as a preparation for their sexual lives. Now you, growing up in this world, go, holy fuck, child abuse, pedophilia, oh my God. Ancient Greeks went, yep, sounds good to us, for various cultural reasons. And if you were to teleport back then and start going, this abuse of boys must stop, you'd probably be laughed at. What? What are you talking about? But morality is objective, y'all. Imagine if NAMBLA ran the government. Kinda, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like that. Like in Greek society, it wasn't like there was this big like movement of like, let us fuck boys. It was just culturally that. It just happened. It wasn't like the government was like, and then let's fuck more boys, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not what the government was radiating out into the world. It wasn't like NAMBLA was running it. You know what I mean? It was just a cultural norm in a society. Still exists in Afghanistan and parts of the Middle East. Yes, T-boys, right, in Afghanistan. There are little boys in Afghanistan who ostensibly are there to serve tea at gatherings of men, but are really there to be abused by those men as a sexual plaything or sexual object. And that is in certain, now I'm not saying all of Afghanistan, but in certain parts of Afghani culture, that is completely and utterly normalized, correct, okay, not considered a moral ill at all. And who's right? Right? I, as an American, go, I'm right. The abuse of children is wrong. But if I was born in Afghani, would I say that? No. But morality is objective. You might say that, maybe. I think the chances that I say that are a lot less than if I'm born into this culture, in which the abuse of children is hyper not normalized. It's hyper demonized, hyper fucking, and rightfully so, in my opinion. I will say that, like, quote unquote moral crusaders sometimes go way too far in their pursuit of people that they think are abusing children. These like pedo hunter extrajudicial trials of people channels. There's a lot of people that believe that those people are doing good. And they're not. They're not trained law enforcement professionals. If those people were serious, they would share these chats with their local law enforcement and allow cops to do what they do. They do it for the clicks. So I don't think that you treat a problem like the abuse of children by solely demonizing the action. There needs to be a treatment plan, a way to segregate people that have the proclivity to abuse children away from society, or to make sure that they don't do it. It doesn't need to be looked at as a social ill that can be solved by just locking them up forever. Sometimes cops can't get involved, like in what case? In what situation? How does that disprove that there isn't an unknown or not yet fully understood objective morality? How does what we know about the universe disprove that a giant sweaty ass will at some point enter our solar system and crush it between its big hairy butt cheeks? I mean, all of our current science and understanding of the universe says that that's ridiculous, but what's to preclude that happening? I've got an invisible dragon right here. Maybe I do, right? But maybe I don't. You probably think Paul doesn't have an invisible dragon that he's got his arm around right here. But how do you know that in the future I won't prove that this dragon right here is real? Do you see the flaw in your argument yet? Or do you need more object lessons? Because I can give you more.
Cockabur on your.
Cockabur! I know where that came from. I know where that cockabur came from. I'm glad it ended up on me, though. It's easier to get it off of Dad than it is off of you. It doesn't matter where or when you were born. The abuse of children is wrong, no matter what society at the time says. Okay. I invite you then to teleport yourself back to Greek society and see how far that gets you. At the time, if you were born a Greek citizen, it was a normalized thing to have sex with children. I'm not saying that it's positive. I'm just saying that that's the truth. So your righteous indignation about shit that happened fucking centuries ago, it's really kind of misplaced, isn't it, in the conversation? You and I agree the abuse of children is fucking unacceptable. So, what's going on? Paul. Thanks, Fleshaga. 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 For the Swedish kroner. talking about this age, not the Greek age, right? I'm just pointing out the Greek age as an example that morality that we think is just objectively fucking true across the board has changed throughout societies and throughout history. Proving the point that what is considered to be a moral good today in 200 years might be considered a moral evil. A good example of this is cancer treatment, right? Right now, one of the best treatments for cancer is to poison a person with radiation and hope that the poison kills the cancer before it kills the person. Okay? That is considered, people that engage in that, doctors that engage in that, that is considered to be a moral good. 200 years from now, assuming we don't all blow ourselves up, people will be taught about that as a barbarous practice that was considered to be a moral good, but really just made people sicker and actually made cancer more aggressive if it came back, and yada, 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 and blah, blah, blah. That's what I mean, chemotherapy. That's what I'm talking about. You radiation poison somebody, and you hope that it kills the cancer before it kills them. And that, in our society, is looked at as a moral good, and the people that engage in doing that to people are looked as moral good doctors upholding the Hippocratic Oath. In 200 years, it will be looked at as barbarism. But you want to make an argument that morality is objective. Thanks again, Fleshaga, for the Swedish kroner. Hurdy, sturdy, dirty, dirty, gurdy, furdy, 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 food, strudel, doodle, 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 floodle, doop, stoop, doodle, floodle, doop, strew, strudel, doot, dee, dee, foobity, doot. Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of your whole country. Lol, why do people have to actually, Paul, about exactly what he's talking about? I don't know. There's just some people that have to feel like they're like in combat in a conversation. You could also say that sterilizing the human race is good because it prevents future generations from experiencing pain. This is just a comment, not an argument. Right. But some future fucking society might actually think that that's a moral good. It also seems to me the argument you're making is morality needs to be edited. I'm not saying that. I didn't say that morality needs to be edited. I said that morality will be edited by time and generational change. What is moral today will be considered amoral in the future, assuming there is a future for the human race. What is considered moral here is almost certainly considered amoral on some other fucking planet in some other alien civilization. And yet there's an objective morality in the universe. It's just ridiculous. It falls apart at the seams. Thank you, by the way, Asbestos Fingers. I think that was needing to be posted. Everybody read what Asbestos Fingers just posted and take it to heart. This will become a regular thing here on the channel, and these are the basic rules of Highdeology, and if you're not willing to abide by them, you're not welcome here. In the chat, you can lurk, but if you want to participate in the chat with me, you're going to talk about what we're talking about on the chat, and you're going to conduct yourself like a fucking human being. So read it. Read it, take it to heart. Should get a bot to spam that every few minutes. Maybe Asbestos knows how to set something like that up. Maybe he's already using something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. I'm sure there's a way. In the future, stem cell treatment will probably be seen as moral as long as harvest method is seen as moral. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Pin the comment? Yeah, I don't think that I can't really pin it. Can I? No. I can't really pin it, dog. I mean, I could put it in the description. Maybe I'll do that. Money. Thank you, Hilly, for the money. I appreciate the money. Na zdrowie. Well, here's the thing, Asbestos Fingers. I know it's possible. You'll probably have to set up another account. But if you'll let me know privately some way, like on Twitter or whatever, we'll work together. I'll make sure I mod that account. You can bring it into the chat and have it say something, and I'll mod the account so that it can, I know it's fucking possible. And that would be something that you could even turn on and it would always be here even when you can't be. You know what I mean? I would think. I imagine that people have that type of shit for their YouTube chats. You don't have to do it, though. I'm not asking you to do the work. That's a lot of legwork and shit. You don't have to fucking worry about that. You're doing a good job, and when you're here, you got it copy pasted and you say it every once in a while. I think that's great, dude. I appreciate that. Like, I don't want to put no work on any of my fucking specters other than enforcing the rules while they're chilling here if they want, The consumption of dairy and meat to me is not immoral. The immoral part is how it's harvested. A Native American hunting a bison is not harmful to the plant. Well, right. That's a very good point, and a difference in morality, right? A change in morality. Right now, the factory farming of meat is considered to be a moral gray area. I don't think anybody goes like, wow, it's great that these animals live in suffering, but most people don't really care enough to stop going to the store and buying meat, myself included, right? That's normalized. But that would have been seen as the ultimate evil and was seen as the ultimate evil by Native American tribes. When Western culture started moving further into the territory where buffaloes like just blacked out the whole fucking plains, Native Americans started to find buffaloes who had just been taken for their skins, stripped of everything else, no meat taken off the bone, just fly eaten, rotting out in the prairie, and nothing but their buffalo skins taken. And that to them was an ultimate moral evil, and it's representative of how we do it today. The Indians understood some shit. They understood that they had to remain in balance with nature. Indians thanked things that they killed. They had different ways of showing it, directly thanking it or thanking it ceremonially by using every fucking part of it and ensuring that they moved around and didn't harm the herd as a whole by taking a kill or 10 to support their fucking families. They used every piece, right? Different culture, different morals. We live in a culture now that thinks it's a moral good to go out and start a business that pollutes the planet. In an Indian culture, that would be seen as the rape of the planet, which is what it is. Something like 40 to 50% of produce is wasted in America. That's a stunning but true fact. 40 to 50% of produce ends up never feeding a human being. Ends up thrown away for slop, used as slop for pigs or some shit. Food, like restaurants. Restaurants are beacons of food waste. Look into food waste at restaurants and how much even restaurants that try not to waste food waste food. Look at how much produce ends up in the trash can and not in the bellies of consumers or in the bellies of hungry people elsewhere in the world or right here in the country, in the bellies of children whose only square meal a day is a school lunch, if their fucking area has a free school lunch. Bye, Evans. Thank you. work at a grocery store deli, the amount of rotisserie chicken that is tossed per month is insane. I can only imagine, right? Whole ass food that was farmed with labor and taken all the way to market, cooked by somebody who knows how to cook, that just gets thrown in the garbage can. Think about that. And then take a look at the fly-blown pictures of little kids that are skeletal in Africa during famine. And tell me that makes sense. The arm is broken. I'm gonna make a take right now because I think it points to what we're talking about. I think that leftism needs to be talked about, and people's personal definitions of leftism need to be sussed out, right? To me, being a leftist means thinking globally, not just thinking locally, right? So it precludes nationalism in my mind, right? And to some people, being a leftist and a nationalist at the same time, that's a good thing. That needs to be sussed out. We need to decide whether or not that we are leftists that think globally and that raise the alarm bells when half of the rotisserie chickens that are cooked in places get thrown in the fucking garbage. Restaurants dump enough edible food every fucking night to feed a whole homeless shelter worth of people. Right? Or a whole fucking village full of starving children. This has to be addressed. And you can't address it when you think from a nationalistic perspective, where you act like the only thing that matters in the universe is some minor gain that you made by voting for a Democrat here in the United States. Because then you're making the argument that as life gets marginally better for some people in the United States, it gets better for everybody else globally. And that's just untrue. In fact, the inverse is true. The better things get for people here in the United States, the worse things get for people in the global South. Because we have to export more misery. We get to grow back our forests because we stopped chopping them down because we realized about a generation or two ago that, oh shit, we keep chopping down our own forests, we ain't gonna have no forests. And people go like, oh, look at the progress we've made. The forests are coming back. And then you look at where we get all our toilet paper and paper sacks and paper bags from and lumber from. We've exported the ecological damage from our own geographical location to the global South. We strip mine their forests. Paul, why not vote? Republicans won't do anything. At the very least, Democrats will do some good stuff. Maybe, possibly, citation needed. I'd rather have some good than none. Tell that to somebody that's being fucking cuffed up right now by ICE and sent back to their horrible fucking government after Joe Biden said that he would stop deporting people. Tell that to a Haitian immigrant right now who fled a horrible, poverty-stricken, totalitarian government to come to the United States to try and find a life and is being shipped back there. Tell that to somebody that's sitting in a fucking border detention facility right now. Tell that to somebody who's poor, that never saw a check during the pandemic. Tell that to somebody that right now is living on the grace of a soon-to-expire rent moratorium and doesn't have the money to pay it back and doesn't have a job because of the pandemic. You see what I'm saying? Your harm reduction narrative sounds like it benefits you, but not the people you claim to care about. The poor, the indigent, the immigrant. Yeah. Tell that to a family that used to have a house and is now living in a fucking halfway house. Right? Has Joe Biden showed up and made them whole again and put them back in their family home? Put their jobs and lives back together? Nope. But you want to sell this harm reduction narrative to me. Some good. Where's the good for those people? You bought into the narrative that there's a functional difference between these fucking parties, that they're not two parts of the same system that exist to cyclically oppress you and the global south and the environment and everybody else on the planet imperialistically. We want to put our missiles and our troops in every corner of this globe, and we're going to do it. And you want to tell me that we've reduced harm, that we've done some good as leftists. Your definition of leftist is wanting, in my opinion, if that's your position. And if you feel okay or like you did some kind of moral good by signing your name to a rapist like Joe Biden and a fucking cop like Kamala Harris, if you think you did some kind of fucking moral good, then you and I have a different idea of what being a leftist is. And we have a different idea of what a good is. In your mind, you've done a little harm reduction. In my mind, you perpetuated an endless, cyclical, abusive system that you as a leftist know rapes the planet. And you're pretending you didn't do anything bad. You're pretending you did a moral good because it makes you feel good about yourself. That's my perspective. Your perspective is what again? Genuinely curious. How did not voting solve any of these problems? It didn't, because a lot of dupes voted. If a lot of leftists decided that, hey, I'm not going to put my name next to a rapist and a cop that locks up mothers because their kids are truant and locks up people for dealing and smoking weed and possessing weed, I'm not going to vote for that. That's not leftism. So yeah, a lot of dupes were sucked into the fucking system. So me not voting accomplished nothing other than me being a voice in the chorus saying I am a leftist and I will not vote for my own oppressor and people that oppress people all over the fucking world and here in the United States. And have shown via their fucking history as politicians and public servants that that's exactly what they're going to do. So that's what I've accomplished. I've maintained my positions as a leftist without signing my name next to a rapist. And I've said loudly and vociferously why I wouldn't. So that anybody that wants to look into my political positions will find immediately that I am a leftist that will no longer participate in the cyclical rape of this planet with my vote. As long as the DNC gives me butt hash, I don't vote. As long as the power structure oppresses the bottom rung of society economically, people of color, immigrants, poor people, indigent people, mentally ill people. As long as the regime that I'm expected to vote for plans to perpetuate those things, I don't vote for them. I'm a leftist. That's what I accomplished. What did you accomplish by voting for Biden? Teeing up for the next Trump? Well, pin a rose on your fucking nose, harm reductionist. You can't tell the future. Neither can you, dipshit. So I guess we're back on even footing again. Me with an argument and you with bullshit. Neither did I. You're the one that insinuated that I was saying that I could tell the fucking future. I didn't say that. You said teeing up for the next Trump. I'm extrapolating that from living for 41 years and watching it happen over and over and over again. If you're making an argument that magically this is when the wheel breaks, I want to hear why. Because the wheel is going to break under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and a Congress that can't fucking get together even though they have power and force a vote on Medicare during a pandemic. I'm not making that argument. Stop using a straw man. You're wasting my time, kids. See ya. Not listening. Not going to have my time wasted. Dude looks 12 in that pic. Probably a troll, to be honest with you. Pretty fucking dumb takes. When President Tucker Carlson in 4 years, you vote blues, are just going to cry and cry until another Joe comes in to toss glitter in your damn eyes. That's right, Squid. And that's leftism to a lot of people. No, not me. I need to get some Visine. I got my Visine, I got my pipe, I got my wishes, I got my underwater symbol filled with energy to get me through this minute. Only the realest of the real ones have heard that song, let alone know who that is. This discussion is getting repetitive. I'm going to time you out and give you some time to go find somebody who's discussing something that isn't repetitive. Don't fucking come in here like you're the maestro and you're going to direct the way that the chat goes or when I move on to another fucking topic, bro. I'm a grown-ass man and this is my shit. Take 300 seconds to figure that out or find somebody that cares about what you think about what he's talking about. Thank you. The ratchet effect moves everything to the right, and the liberal fucking shills that continuously get cyclically elected are a fucking huge part of that because they legitimize the austerity that Republicans put in place. The example of that is the top corporate tax rate under Obama being 35%, and that being the position of the Liberal Party. Joe Biden comes along after Trump lowered it to 21% and raises it to 25%. And now the new position of the Liberal Party is that 25% should be what the corporate tax rate is as people starve in the streets in this country during an unprecedented homeless crisis. Do you see how useful this back and forth ping pong game that you're fucking suckered into playing is? Do you see how it legitimizes our constant shift of the Overton window to the right and locks it in? Do you see how the liberal wing of the Democratic Party and the DNC as a whole serves that process to a T? Trump comes along, makes a wild cut to the tax rate. Everybody goes nuts in his base and everybody goes crazy about it on the Democratic base. We get a fucking president in and he raises it to 25%, now back to 35% where it was. There's no enforced standard because that's not what this is about. The ping pong game is about locking in these corporate fucking tax gifts, locking in these shitty pieces of legislation. and you're a part of it. You did your duty. I voted. Look what you voted for. Look what you done did. To the people that say not voting only helps Republicans, you realize that this little ping pong game is only possible because both parties suck. If one party is destroyed, the Repubs can't pass the buck. Uh-oh, Blue Nobles just said something smart. You get it? That's a good way of putting it, Blue Noble. I'm going to steal it. How do you destroy either? You deny one of them ever winning again. You take out one of the cogs in the machine and let the dial spin to the right so far that people won't put up with it anymore. And then you fucking destroy the DNC and start a new third party that's actually people-powered and people-centric. That's what you do. That's how you do it. You stop legitimizing it with your fucking vote. You stop signing your name next to genocide and murder and rape. You take a stand as a citizen of this country and say, I will not participate in the election of my own oppressor and the oppressor of the rest of the fucking globe. I'll not put my name next to imperialism. I'll not put my name next to economic devastation. I'll not put my name next to fucking ecological devastation. I'll not put my name next to fucking racism. I'll not put my name next to mass incarceration. I'll not put my name next to private prisons and glad handing with the people that run them. I'll not put my name next to $250 billion for Raytheon, but nothing for anybody during a pandemic. I will not. You take a stand. You have a pair of fucking balls as a leftist and you stand up. Quit being a quivering little pussy and kowtowing to the fear of lesser of two evilism. Stop legitimizing and locking in every right-wing position you claim to be against and take a stand. Have a set of fucking philosophical balls. Or get out of the leftist party and start calling yourself what you are, a lib. Lib. Get out of the group. Start calling yourself a liberal. Or get out of the way. It's not just about not voting, Hilly, though. I appreciate the kind comment. You got to be vociferous and boisterous about why you didn't. That's the part two. And that means you're going to take shit from every angle. It's not just about not voting and hiding away. Next time the cycle comes around, you're going to take shit from everybody. Take it. Take the stand. Have the fortitude to take the stand. Not only not vote as a vote of no confidence in the system, but explain to people why and stand on principle and blast out your position as far and wide as you can get it and as loudly as you can do it. Be in the fucking mentions of the people that are arguing against what you believe in. Talk about it to the people that you know. Spread it. That's the second part. You know what? Maybe when the next cycle comes around, I'll argue for electoralism too, but I'll do it in a way that drives people fucking insane and that I think would actually be interesting. I will advocate with my entire being for everybody to vote, but to write in no confidence. I'll go do it too. Let's go down there and let's vote party line no confidence. No confidence. No confidence, no confidence, no confidence. And let's see how many people do it. Maybe I'll push for that. Sounds like a good deal. I think I'll do it. I think I'll start advocating for it now. You want me to be an electoralist? You want me to be a lesser of two evils voter? Let's make it lesser of three evils. No confidence. No confidence. No confidence. Party line. I'll vote from now on. I'll get my sticker. But that's going to be what I'm trumpeting the whole fucking way. In the lead up to the fucking midterms. In the lead up to the fucking presidential elections and the national elections that happen in fucking 2024. Governmental elections that are important. No confidence. No confidence. No confidence. No confidence. Let's see how many people do it. That's going to be what I'm trumpeting. Now I'm an electoralist. You won. You won your argument. I'm willing to concede. You won your argument. You're right. My non-participation doesn't accomplish anything. So now I'm going to advocate for people to vote party line no confidence. Show up on election day, get your absentee ballots, vote in every fucking election that you can, all the way down to the local level. And when you have to vote for a Democrat or a Republican, you write in no confidence, no confidence, and no confidence, and no confidence in the write-in section. And you do it every time you can vote. I'll start doing it. I'll get myself fucking registered as an independent in my new state. Oh no, I'm going to do it. This is a great idea. I've been converted. I'm now an electoralist. I'm now going to advocate for the people that listen to me to participate in the system of voting. No confidence won't work. A politician would just change their name to no confidence and win every time. Yeah, good one. Good one, buddy. Good meme. I'm going to start speaking to my people. The 40%, 45% of Americans that stay home and don't vote. I'm going to start trying to get my people to vote, but not for a politician. I want them to go in and participate by writing in a vote of no confidence. Hello, D. Hello, D. What does it accomplish in the end, though? I mean, if I can get it far and wide and get in enough ears, it gives us some stats on how many people are willing to fucking outright say that they have no confidence that the system is going to halt the fucking degradation of the planet. We get some numbers on it. Other than just this nebulous 40 to 45% of people stay home. Let's see why. Let's see if we can see why. I want those people to come out in droves for every election that they can and write in no confidence. And I'm going to start advocating for that and see what people do with it. Kick that football at them. Participate. Yep. It's your right, man. It's your fucking civic duty. I'm sure the non-voter base will rise up every following election cycle, since the only reason a lot did involve themselves this last time was because of Bernie, right? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. No confidence is short and straight and to the point, and that could speak to the working class, right? I hope it does. I think it's actually a pretty good idea. Let's do it. Here on out, party line, no confidence. No confidence, no confidence. We no longer buy the lies of people that promise things that we know are fucking not going to happen. No confidence. No more electing Dems. No more electing fucking Republicrats. No confidence. Damn. I just saw this little confrontation going on over there. Somebody's real pissed off. It's genius because we do not have to explain why we are. You will have to, Squid. I'm sorry to fucking burst your bubble on that. But in order for this to be really effective, you're going to have to like participate in it with me, but understand the power of it. And that means that you personally, with your reach, whatever it is, need to amplify the message behind why you've chosen to vote no confidence. You're right in your assumption that no confidence is the point and is kind of very easily identifiable and self-descriptive, but you're going to have to tell people why you have no confidence. You're going to have to be very boisterous and vociferous about it. And you're going to have to make a big deal out of it when you do it. You're going to have to go down and do all the social media shit that people do. Get your I voted sticker and show it off, and then just do it like, I voted, party line, hashtag no confidence. Take pictures in the voting booth of you writing it up if you're allowed, like people do when they vote for Barack Obama or vote for fucking Joe Biden or whatever. Take a picture of your ballot if you go into a polling place to do it, with you having written in no confidence, party line. Post it, post a picture of your I voted sticker. You know what I mean? That's how you do this. Let's play their game. Yep. If the voting works, people are not on board with this idea, then they're a bunch of fucking fakes by default. It proves that their fucking whole rhetoric falls apart at the seams. If you actually agree with the message and you're not just doing it for the memes, you actually have no confidence that the people that you vote for are not going to perpetuate the cycle of endless misery and degradation and environmental collapse on this planet, then let's do it. How are you going to argue against me now? I voted. Here's my sticker. I voted like a leftist, though. I didn't sign my name next to a rapist. I didn't sign my name next to an imperialist. I didn't sign my name next to a corporate whore. I didn't sign my name next to a warmonger, segregationist, cop. I voted. Right there, see? I voted. I'm doing it. I'm going to get registered today. We got a live stream today. We're live streaming a banter-sode for the plebs today. And I think that this topic might come up since it's a banter-sode. I think we might see a little wider reach for this topic today, because I like it. But as soon as I can, I'm going to get myself registered in the state that I live in to vote. And yeah, by the midterms, I'm going to very boisterously and vociferously vote party line no confidence. And I'm going to encourage everybody in my audience and within earshot of me to do the same. I won. I'm just kidding. I didn't win anything, but I think that this is an actual interest. Oh, yeah. No, today on the Bantersode, this is going to be what I bring to the table. I want to have a full discussion of this. I just want to see what he thinks about it. If you're in with me, like, honestly, don't meme about it. If you're willing to go through the fucking process of getting your, if you're an American and you're willing to go through the process of registering yourself to vote, if you're not, and to do this with me, whether you do it on an absentee ballot or you go to your polling place and do it, throw up a 1 in the chat right now. Like, even if you're lurking and listening to this and you're nodding your head along as you're doing something else, please throw up a 1 in the chat right now. And do it honestly. Don't do it like fucking in bad faith. Like, if you honestly will do this with me, if you honestly think that this is a good idea and you'll do this with me, throw up a 1 in the chat. Because if this is a nothing fucking idea, I'm not going to do it. If you're lurking, please, dude, I never ask you lurkers to do anything but sit and listen. I love all of you for being out there and doing your video game stuff and doing your work stuff. But if you can, put a 1 in the chat right now if you're with me. Do it. And don't put multiple 1s. If you put your 1, I see a lot of 1s already, but please, for the next couple, thank you, Naughty Priest. Thank you, Naughty Priest. Thank you, Drone World. Thank you, okay, keep going. Please, if you're lurking right now, listen to me. If you're willing to do this with me, register. If you're a United States citizen, register yourself to vote and be very, very boisterous with me about voting party line no confidence. Put a 1 in the chat. You can vote on local initiatives too if you want. I'm not going to preclude you to for doing that. Go vote on the local pot legalization shit and the fucking local and police restructuring shit. Go do all that too. Why not? But when it comes to politicians, no confidence. Yes? Are you with me? Yes? All right. Then let's do this. I'll announce it today on the fucking public Bantersode, and I'll start crafting some rhetoric about it on my social media, and I'll start throwing it out there as a topic. Let's go. Let's be participants in the process. Yeah? No confidence. Party line. You guys ready? No more voting for our own oppressors. No more signing our name next to fucking rape and murder and bombs. Until we are giving a candidate that represents us and our values, no confidence. Party line. Let's go. Let's see the numbers. Let's run up the numbers. I want to see it. No confidence. No confidence. State elections. I'm gonna be on this. The no confidence movement. If you're a leftist and you're tired of voting for people like Joe Biden, join the no confidence movement. Show the DNC that you're not willing to be fear-mongered into voting for a rapist. Join the no confidence movement. Do your civil duty. It is your civic duty to get out and vote. Party line no confidence. It is your civic duty to let the DNC know that you will no longer accept center-right corporatism and call it leftism. It's your civic duty to add your name to the record of history. No confidence. Party line. Every politician, no matter what they've promised to you. No confidence, no confidence, no confidence, no confidence, no confidence, no confidence. And then you're boisterous about it, yes? Yes? You post it, and when people shit on you about it online, you explain to them why you did it. You blast your message out to your friends and your family, and you let them know what you voted for and who you voted for. No confidence, no confidence, no confidence, no confidence. Party line. You take the slings and arrows that you're going to get. Because if you think this is going over well, you're going to get shit on for this. Your no confidence vote is basically a vote for Trump. Get ready. Put your armor on and get ready to make your fucking argument. No confidence. Will not play ping pong with you anymore. Until my fucking demands are met. No confidence. And you come up with whatever your list of personal fucking red line demands are. Till we get a minimum wage. Until we get a fucking UBI. Until we get absolutely free health care for everyone in this country. No confidence. And any politician that doesn't pursue that or has no fucking intention of pursuing that, no confidence. Yep. Stop union busting. Break the trusts. Make a list. Make a list of your red line issues and stand on your no confidence vote and participate in this process. And let's see what happens. Let's do a little political experiment and direct action here. No confidence. No confidence until our demands are met, seriously. No confidence. No confidence that the DNC and their candidates will ever meet our demands. No confidence until we get something new. We're leftists, not center-right corporatists, not war hawks and warmongers. No confidence until the DNC dies and something new replaces it. No confidence. No exceptions. No buying the lies, no getting funneled into voting for AOC and then watching her cackle as she turns into Nancy Pelosi right before us. No more. No more lies, no more DNC-funded candidacies. No confidence. No more third-party protest voting either. Green Party ain't gonna win. Justice Dems ain't gonna win. No confidence. How do we get boomers on board when they make up so much of the DNC voter base? Fuck them. Cut them off and kill it. Let them wither on the vine. There's not enough of them anymore. No confidence. No more funneling of leftist energy into corporatism. No confidence. No more buying Biden merch and making a jackass out of yourself if you're a leftist. No confidence till your demands are met. The world is dying. No confidence. The global south is being exploited. No confidence. We're on the cusp of the greatest migration crisis in the history of the world. No confidence till our demands are met. And we know, we have no confidence that the DNC and its power structure will meet those demands. So if you are a DNC-backed candidate or running as a Democrat, no confidence. No money either, guys. No donations. No $5 to Bernie anymore. No $5 to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. No confidence. Keep your money. Keep your money out of politics. Don't let them fucking astroturf a grassroots movement anymore. No confidence. No more money. No more donations to DNC candidates, no matter what they're saying. No confidence. Did anyone see Destiny versus Richard Wolff? I didn't. I donated $150 to Bernie last time. No more of that. Keep your money. That's just pragmatism. Keep your money. That money got funneled to the Joe Biden campaign, bro. Keep it. No confidence. No more false promises, no more lies, no more funneling of my passion and energy and beliefs into a centrist corporatist nightmare that exploits the global south and rapes the planet and oppresses minorities and immigrants. No more. No confidence. Guys, I don't want to fucking overstate myself right here, but can I say something? I feel really good right now. And let me tell you why I feel really good right now. I feel like all of the angst, and I want to thank you guys for being here and helping me work this shit out. It was your talk over the course of the last year or more on Highdeology that has led me to this fucking moment. This is something that I can do. Not that's going to fucking save the world, but that sends a tangible fucking message. Well, that's up to you. Local level shit, you need to know who's on the level locally. I know that locally I'm going to be given butt hash, so I'm going to vote no confidence locally where I'm at, but that's up to you. I'm talking about being boisterous about the national level elections and a no confidence vote for the DNC. This is not a solution. This is a tactic. This is praxis. I feel good. I feel like all of the angst and all of the yelling and all of the fucking philosophical and political conversations have led to this moment. I feel like this idea was the idea that I needed to have. This is the answer for how I can support something that might get traction. It may not. It may not get traction outside of the people that watch me, but I hope it does. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that it does. I'm going to go to whoever will allow me time on their fucking shit, and I'll make my fucking argument for it. I'm dead serious, dude. I don't think this is going to save the world. I don't think this is going to stop the degradation of the world. But I think this is a way to channel my political and philosophical beliefs and standards into some direct action. No more money. And be vociferous about it. No more donations to DNC candidates. No more participation other than to write in a vote of no confidence in every election that you can. For every DNC-backed politician that you can. Be informed about your local politicians. Write in no confidence when you know that they're pieces of shit. Vote for them if you want to. Look at your local initiatives. You can decide whether or not you want to participate and which ones. But when it comes to your national level elections and your state level elections, no confidence for DNC politicians. No confidence, no confidence, no confidence. Party line. Clear demands. Come up with your own list. You don't have to use mine. What's your line? What's your red line? No confidence until your demands are met. No confidence in the DNC to ever meet those demands. No confidence. No more broken bone waggling. No confidence is at least recognition worthy idea, dude. Yep. Maybe we can even sell some people some stamps that they can take into the voting booth or use on their absentee ballots. Big, bold stamps so it all looks the same in the social media, you know what I mean? No confidence. No confidence. Yep. A big, bold, all caps stamp with red ink. No confidence. Mail it in. No confidence. What about an included manifesto in the ballot? I mean, I encourage everybody that participates in this to write their own quote unquote manifesto. Come up with your own list of red line fucking demands for a new party, and why you don't trust the DNC to ever meet those demands, and why you will never vote for a DNC-backed candidate again, and why you advocate for the replacement of the DNC with a true leftist workers' movement. No confidence. Participate. Get your sticker, too. Man, get your sticker. I voted. I voted party line, no confidence. This feels solid to me, dude. This feels like something that I'll actually have a sense of fulfillment pursuing. You guys are all talking about merchandising it. This isn't even a movement yet. And I'm probably going to leave it to other people to merchandise it. I really don't want to capitalize on this idea beyond just propagating it as much as I can. I'm not saying I'll never fucking sell anything for it, but I'm not really looking at that right now. I'm not looking at monetizing this. If it takes off as an idea, it'll be monetized by people, trust me. Yeah, donate your money to union movements and local fucking park cleanup movements and local organizations that are feeding the homeless and indigent in your area. Take those political donations. Oh, this is a great part of the platform. Oh, this is great. I don't know if you've been listening, baby. Breakthrough. I'm going to vote now.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I'm going to register to vote as an independent today. And I'm going to start advocating for a party line no confidence vote for every candidate, every DNC candidate, no matter what they're promising. And I'm going to start advocating for people to, if they want to, participate in their local ballot initiatives. And if they're really informed and know that somebody's on the level, vote for your local politicians and shit. But if you know you live in an area where you're going to get nothing but DNC butt hash, no confidence locally too. No more donations to candidates that are going to funnel money to like the DNC, like Bernie. No more.
I'm confused. Like, would you just turn in a ballot? And
Yeah.
Check any names?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Because you have a right, because every ballot you have a write-in candidate, right? I'm going to advocate that everybody write in bold letters, no confidence for every fucking candidate. Every time they're allowed to vote, and the choice is a Republican or a Republicrat, no confidence. No matter what they're promising, no confidence. If they're DNC funded and backed, they're tainted and poisoned. No confidence. I'm doing it. I'm gonna advocate it for it on the fucking banter show today, and see what TJ thinks about it. And I'm gonna start fucking pushing it on my Twitter. I'm gonna get myself fucking lined out here, get my ID sorted out, and register to vote independent ASAP. No confidence. Donate any money that you would normally have given to a DNC politician, no matter what they're promising, to a local organization that feeds the homeless. Vet an organization that operates locally, like a soup kitchen or a food bank. Start donating your time and your $5 donations that you can come up with to that place. No confidence. No more money. No more votes. Take your apathy, your righteous and rightful apathy, by the way, and let's participate in this fucking process. Donate your money. Keep donating your money, but do it only at the local level and only with fucking nonprofit organizations that are going to make a change at the local level. Park cleanup initiatives, downtown revitalization initiatives, people that work with drug addicts and the homeless, pet shelters that are no kill. Pick your poison, give your money to that. You got $5. No more DNC donations. No confidence. Participate in every election. No confidence. I'm doing it. Funny, after one of the most brutal cleanups in months, we immediately have an actual discussion that leads to new ideas. I know. Funny how that worked out, huh? Guess I was right to start enforcing that fucking red line. Because here we are, dude. And like I said, I've developed this idea, I feel like, is the culmination of like a year's worth of fucking argument. This is an answer. Not to the problem. This isn't going to save the world. But this is a way that we can participate in the process that'll have tangible results if it takes off as an idea.
It's only 8 states that allow you to write in whatever. Like, it won't be counted outside of these 8 states.
Then what? But see, people write in candidates all the time, and there's always these jokey, like, people wrote in this, people wrote in that.
I don't know if they would even cover it if it's just no confidence.
They track it every year. You can see what people voted for. You can see these other like Puking Dog, when we were back on DP, tracked nationally with like 0.2% of the vote or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the movement.
If it wasn't jokey, that if they would even cover it, that's my concern, is that they would just be thrown out.
Well, that means that people have to be all the more boisterous about having do it. You know how people take picture of them bubbling in Biden? I voted stickers. They've got to do that and show what they did to their ballot. I was thinking about getting stamps for people so they can just stamp no confidence on their ballot.
If you can take a picture of your ballot, not every state allows that either.
Right. You got to comply with local laws and shit. But fuck, dude, I saw tons of it. So if you live in a state where it's allowed for you to fucking take pictures of your ballot, do it. If you're not, get your I voted sticker and then tell people what you voted. I wrote in no confidence. I wrote in hashtag no confidence, party line. I voted. Hashtag I voted. Here's the picture of me smiling with my I voted sticker. And if your fucking local state rules allow it, here's the picture of my ballot with a big no confidence stamped on it.
There's 9 states that don't allow write-ins at all.
That's fine. Do it anyway. Then you don't vote in those states. Or you write on the ballot no confidence. And then you vote down ballot if you want to. You vote the initiatives if you want to, and that's that. You vote local if you want to. If you're informed about your local politician, you think there's a chance you get somebody on the level. Otherwise, you just write in no confidence. Just write it over the ballot. That's your participation. No confidence won't win. The idea of this is that the DNC will be starved if people stop voting for it. So the idea of this is not to have no confidence win a vote. The idea of this is to have enough people, enough leftists participate in this that the DNC dies on the vine. It can no longer exist as an organization. We take one of the cogs out of the machine that continuously walks back this process until our demands are met. No more money, no more support, no more backing on social media, no more signal boosting or hashtagging any DNC operation. No confidence. What happens when the Republicans make the taxes on the rich zero? Man, that's probably going to gall a lot of people, huh? That's probably going to motivate a lot of people to fucking really get politically active and start demanding things from their politicians. Might even get people on both sides of the aisle to vote for a new third party or a replacement for the Democratic Party that's labor-focused and people-focused, huh? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, as if corporations already don't pay taxes. Good point. Get a profile pic, please, though. Please. Pretty please with sugar on top. You could get TikTok stars to start a trend that shows a reason why to do this. I don't know. Other people are going to have to take this idea and run with it. I'm just going to try and get it out as far and wide as I can. and win as many converts to it as I can personally, and hope that it carries momentum from there. I can't be the person to go to TikTok and make this a meme. I'm too old. I don't understand the platform. I wouldn't, excuse me. Pardon me, but do you have any gray poupon?
You got something on your mustache. Let me clean your mustache. Let me clean it. I get something on your mustache.
Dinor. So crazy, boy. Why you gotta be so resistant to us helping you all the time? Dinor doesn't want help.
I got something to show you when you're done. It's nothing bad.
Oh, okay. You can show me now if you want.
No, it was on your computer, so I'll just wait until you're done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up here in a minute. If I can get this pipe lit, that'd be nice. I'd like to smoke a pipe and then finish this up. Is that jet lighter out here still? Or did I take it in? I probably took it in, huh? Yeah, I did. Fuck. That thing works way better for starting these pipes up. Shout out to Dinor. He says shout outs back to you, bro. Guys, I'm not even fucking being hyperbolic here. I think that this could be something that people could really get behind. And I think that it could actually, like, I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying that I think that this has the potential to get legs. I really do, guys. I really fucking do. I wouldn't say it if I didn't. And I'm going to this is going to be the fucking centerpiece of my platform from here on out. Let's try it for a couple of cycles and see if we can make some hay with it. Those of us that are done with this shit. I'm going to ask TJ if he can put me in contact with Kyle. I'm going to see if he'll do that for me. I know he's got a way more direct line to Kyle than I do. We follow each other, so I could DM Kyle, but I know that Kyle is notoriously bad about checking his DMs like I am. You know what I mean? So I'm going to see if I can talk to Kyle about this and see what he thinks about it. See if he's interested in having a discussion about it. We can do it on his fucking channel if he wants. I'll come on Kyle and Corin or whatever and do a little special talk about it. I'm willing to do it on our channel or on Highdeology or whatever is most convenient for him if he's got half an hour to talk to me or an hour. I'm gonna pitch it to him, and I can't say that he'll take me up on it, but I'll pitch the idea to him. I'll get a good fucking hammered down, easy to pitch idea, and I'll throw it at him and see what he thinks. I'm not going to push to be on Vosh, although I won't eschew the chance. But I'm not going to make that a big issue. I'm not going to reach out. I've already reached out to him. I feel like that any more reaching out to him would be like a little weird. So if he wants to, if this, he hears about this and he wants to have me on his channel, he can hit me up. But I'm not really going to push for that. I kind of know how Vosh is going to react to this. So I don't really need to, I don't need to really push that. I'm going to push this as hard as I can, though. I'll talk to anybody. Anybody wants to hit me up. Shoe on Head. Oh, I haven't heard from Shoe on Head in a long time. Hannah and Jake, probably not. Jimmy Dore. I mean, whatever.
And just my main concern with it is that they wouldn't be counted at all.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, it's more about the direct action of doing it than it is about expecting the electoral system to be fair and actually provide stats or provide an option. Maybe that can be part of the platform as well. We want immediately
Like,
a national legislation saying that allowing for a no confidence vote.
like Nevada has.
Right, like Nevada has.
Like petitioning each individual state to allow.
That can be
these
part of the
candidates.
fucking platform as well.
Yeah.
Is spreading awareness about the need for a no confidence vote in America, and spreading awareness with that by sacrificing your ballot to it, basically. When it comes to these votes, you're not going to count. Your vote's not going to count for any politician, but your money's not also not going to go to those politicians. Your support is not going to go to those politicians. No more DNC. No more. No more DNC lies. No more DNC abuse. No más. I'll talk to whoever, like I said, like, you know what I mean? Whoever wants to.
Like someone like Vosh would have to reach out to you.
I mean, I'll reach out to a few people, but I feel like I've already reached out to Vosh. If he wants to talk, he can come to me and talk. We'll figure out where we do it or do it on both channels like we did. What about Destiny? I don't really follow Destiny much anymore. I followed him way back when he was like a semi-pro StarCraft streamer, and like up through the days where he played DayZ a lot and shit, when he was more of kind of a memester and less of a political dude. Although he did cover politics and stuff in his streams back then, but now he's more of kind of like a political dude, and I don't really follow. But I mean, he's got a big platform, so if he wants to talk and hear out this idea, I'm willing to be the one that does it. Willing to pass the torch to somebody who's a little better than me, you know, a little less abrasive than me to do it, if somebody else wants to do it. Honestly, I don't think TJ is going to be with this. I don't think he will either, but it's going to be interesting to hear what he has to say about it and what his arguments against it are. I don't know who Hassan Piker is, but if he's got an audience and wants to listen to this and talk to me about it, I'll go on his show. As long as he's not some kind of fucking neo-Nazi or something. I don't go on neo-Nazi shows. Why so obsessed about politics lately? Why so fucking complacent about politics lately? I'll ask you the question. I'll answer your question with a question. Why so complacent about politics lately? Well, like I said, I'm going to start this today on the publicly available banter sode that we're going to do a little later today, which I've got to leave and start prepping for here in a minute. So I'm going to present this idea as nascent as it is, and kind of develop it a little more on the show today. get it out there as an idea as wide as I can. Get it under TJ's skin, you know what I mean, and let him fucking chew on it and see what he does with it. And then start coming up with ways that I personally can start boosting the message, come up with some Twitter posts that I can make and pen and start backing. Come up with a way to kind of parse what I expect people that want to do this to do, what it means and why.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do a live poll of the chat today to see how many people think it's a good idea and a bad idea. I mean, I have a feeling it's not going to be a sea of ones today. There's a lot of people in our audience that are, you know, clearly not on my page politically, so I don't expect it to be super popular amongst the fan base. In fact, I expect it to put like a lot of bees in the bonnet, you know what I mean? I think it'll stir up a lot of discussion and a lot of angst, and that's kind of what I want. That's how, you know, you get people to pay attention to things. Yeah, we're doing a live show today at, I want to say 7 your time, Charles. Yeah, that's been on the books. We're doing a live banter sode today. On DFF, Deep Fat Fried. Yeah, we did a live show not that long ago. We're doing it as a fill-in today because we're going to be making some changes to the way that the public episodes are presented and stuff, and this is kind of a stopgap before that starts happening. So, no, it's not patrons only. It's going to be a publicly available episode. It's just a banter-sode. So if you guys have seen those, if you're fans of DFF, we don't have any kind of particular topic, or we come with some kind of discussion topic in our minds like I'm going to today. And we just throw it out there and we talk about it for as long as it's fun to talk about, and then we end the episode. What time will it air? It'll be like 5 PST, 7 CST, 9 EST, something like that. I can't figure out your Australian time zone for you, bro. You're going to have to do the legwork on that. I just gave you 3 points of reference. You can go do a Google search. It's probably going to be at a weird time for you, unfortunately, but you can go back and watch it. I don't think Scotty will be on board with it all that much. I don't really particularly see him participating in it. I don't think he's going to have a problem with it, though, like philosophically or politically. I may be wrong about that. Maybe he will get behind it, but Scotty walks his own path, you know. Yeah, roughly 4 to 5 hours from now. So do the math wherever you are in the world if you want to catch it live, and if you can't, that's fine. A reading list. Yeah, I don't know if a reading list on this exists, but starting to put together that type of thing would be interesting. Starting to read about the history of the option to vote no confidence and movements around it, and, you know, deconstructing the efficacy of those movements and stuff would be interesting. Well, that's what it calls into question, right, Nick? It's like, what has this fucking tactic that you're asking me to continuously and cyclically participate in actually bought the world over the last 20, 30, 40 years that I've been alive? What major criticism do you see that will arise from this? The first major criticism, and probably the strongest one that you'll hear, is you're just funneling votes to Donald Trump. You're just funneling votes to conservatives. You want to create a dystopia where actual literal fascists are in control forever and no even like minor leftism ever has a chance. You're a secret conservative. You're an agent of Donald Trump. You're an agent of the right wing. You're a fake leftist, that type of shit. You're a tanky, blah, 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 blah. The same shit I'm getting now. Like, I don't think that the dumb shit straw man criticisms that I get now are going to change in shape or form because of this. Oh yeah, you don't care about minorities. You don't give a fuck about trans people. You're telling trans people to just suck it up and live under an authoritarian regime, blah, 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 blah. The same kind of fucking like emotion baiting that funnels people into this fucking system that's clearly raping the world. Well, thank you guys for participating. It's been fun. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Have a good day. I'll see you on the live stream later if you can make it. If not, I hope you watch the replay. I'll see you. Bye-bye.